Hello, class. I wanted to just give you 5 things to hopefully leave Marketing 455 with. Hopefully you've enjoyed this class. Um, but again, hopefully you walk away with at least one of these, but hopefully you walk away with more than the 5 of these. But I just wanted to close out the class with giving you my list of 5 things that I think are important at a basic level of social media marketing. So, number one, know your customer. I talk about it a lot. You may even have different groups of customers or different audiences you are targeting. Try not to target all of them at once. Um, just it makes it increases the risks of you not being as effective. Second one, pilot small, often, scale quickly. Meaning try creative ideas. I mean, that's the greatest thing about social media marketing is the speed at being able to try and get feedback is, you know, within hours, if not minutes. But then always be thinking about how you're going to scale it if it works. So if it works, scale it quickly and try, try things in terms of creative, how you're targeting different platforms, new ideas. Again, track it, see if it works, and if it works, scale it. If it doesn't, move on. Don't get too caught up. A few weeks ago, I was into a big cat phase. I was posting a lot of content for a business I support using cat-like memes, and some of them did really well, and so I continue to use them. It's just a real quick example of like, hey, if you're given the opportunity to try what you want, try it. Number three, be clear on your goals. This one is really important because just like I mentioned in number two, super easy to try stuff. You can be all over the place. You do want to be focused on some key goals. And probably the biggest thing, and I try to tie things to a purchase or brand funnel, um, but try not to do too much. For instance, if you're trying to create awareness, kind of upper funnel, and you also need to create lead generation, which is lower funnel. It's really hard to do both of those with the same execution. And so be disciplined. Again, try stuff, but if you're trying stuff that around awareness, stay focused on that. Don't try to mix it in with lead gen and vice versa. If you need to drive leads for sales, focus on lead gen. And measure, don't worry as much about how people are reacting to your ad or your post. Measure, is it creating leads? And again, having that discipline to create those goals and then stick to those goals is important with social media. Dive into data is number four. So dive into data and track metrics. Some of you may not be, real data analytic, but learn. So just start kind of diving into it, watching it, learning it, reporting on it. Um, Try to pick a couple of metrics that are those go-to metrics that you're always looking at. Now you should be looking at all of them, but honestly, if you were to pull a report from any of the platforms, there can be 50 different metrics, video clicks and likes, reactions, CPMs. I'm just rambling off a bunch, but pick a couple that are just those go-to metrics that you're always watching and comparing across whether it's platforms, across mediums or formats. The two I like are cost per click and click-through rates. One, I don't know. I look at cost per click as like just a real basic. Um, hey, most of the time you want people to click, and most of the time you want to get the best dollar or best value as you can. So you want as many quick clicks for as little or for the lowest cost possible. So I like that metric. I also often look at click-through rates. Click-through rates, again, eventually you're going to need to dive into data more, but click-through rates are great because you can compare it across almost any execution. Just get a sense of kind of what the trend is. I'll give you a real quick example. I was doing a lot of video ads, actually YouTube ads. Um, Click-through rates were awesome, way outperformed. I was actually surprised by it, way outperformed, Meta or LinkedIn ads as far as getting people to the site. Now that, again, great metric to compare through. Um, but I actually found when I dove into the data more, um, those clicks weren't turning into leads. So again, great from a brand awareness standpoint, not so great from a lead gen standpoint. But again, like it doesn't have to be these metrics. Just pick some and start becoming familiar with them. And the fifth one, and I just recommend this for all of you who are going to be looking for interns or jobs out of college. Take the courses that you or the trainings that you complete in the course and list them on your resume. That does a couple things. One, it does show that you're exposed to the different platforms, whether you actually have real working experience or not. And from an entry level standpoint, it at least shows you're educated on them. And then the second thing is it helps your resume come up in searches or as different talent tools are searching resumes for keywords. A lot of those modules have those keywords in them. So hopefully you walk away with these 5. I'll give you one final closing, and this is purely my opinion, but I would say there are no true absolute experts in all things social media. And if anyone's telling you that, I would probably stop talking to them, at least about social media, because they're probably not as strong as you think they are. There's just so many different variables. Things are changing so quickly. You got paid organic, you got different platforms, you have community groups, influencers, video sharing platforms, short videos, um, stories, reels, feeds. I mean, there's just so much. You got hashtags, building audiences, remarketing tags. I mean, it's endless, and that's what's so great about it is like you can constantly be trying new things and working on new combinations. The reality is um, every situation will probably demand a slightly different solution, and so I think that's what makes it great. But it also makes it, unrealistic for anyone to claim they're a true expert of it all. So what I recommend, um, you know, pick a sliver as you get into your career and try to master that sliver while you're trying to become aware of what all the other pieces are. Um, and my guess is that will suit you well. So with that, I hope everyone has had a good semester. For those of you who are graduating, I wish you the best luck in your career moving forward. Hopefully, it's in social media marketing, but even if it's not, most likely you're going to be adjacent to it in some fashion or another. Um, and for those of you who are still finishing out your undergraduate, hopefully you can get an intern in the space. And please, if anyone has any questions, needs help with referrals, whatever it may be, let me know. And again, hope everyone had a great semester, have a great summer, and thank you. Bye.